Joining us is Ms. Pat Patricia Williams. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show.
Thank you for having me.
Listen, what we see is what we get is what I'm learning about you. You kick off this your show with a little comedy, and I learned from episode 1 that you have one nipple, that you were shot twice, and that was just in the opening 5 minutes, and then it goes on from there. Tammy Roman is on there. The show is hilarious. There's a lot of cussing. For those of you, we just had a caller who was very similar. So how did this deal come about?
First of all, let me say this, ma'am. I have 2 nipples. One was just shot. Okay. I'm so tired of people.
So one is slightly damaged. Is this,
yes,
does it still work? Is it suckable? Like, is it still working?
That's none of your business.
Okay, there we go. I wasn't asking
Great
for myself. I was asking for Lamont.
Now,
I know. I thought it was a good question.
Sure.
If Lamont George Wilder asked me that, I can answer that.
Is
But
it
I'm
fair
suckable?
enough.
Is it suckable still?
If you like it in pieces.
Hey, there we go.
But anyway.
So that means one is titty and titty light, huh?
Coke and Diet Coke. It came about. I did a podcast about 5 years ago with Mark Maron, and I did a podcast, and somebody heard me. At the same time, I got a book deal, and a couple of months later, Hollywood came running. I was just literally telling my story on a podcast, and somebody from the guy named was John Rattler. He came out of Imagine, Ron Howard company called Imagine with Brian Grazer. And they approached me and said that we want to give you a TV deal. But it was like 6 people, 6 companies at the time. Sure. And I didn't choose them. And I came back 9 months later, and they hooked me up with Lee Daniels. And at the time, Empire had just dropped. I meet Lee Daniels. I tell him the story, and we venture off and started to hire writers. Now, this wasn't easy. This was 5 years in the making. We went through 3 networks and 3 writers before it got to air. And it got dropped by Hulu.
Because of the language?
No, they knew what they was getting, but from the script. I mean, they knew what they was getting. I mean, it was nothing. What was on the script is what we presented. They shot the pilot, and I just think sometimes networks, they want to change you, and they don't see stuff like you see things, and therefore, I ain't no bow down bitch. You can't change me. I'm not the Huxtable. I'm not Claire Huxtable. And the third writer that we had, he the one moved me from Fox over to streaming. He was like, this lady need to be on streaming. That's how we ended up at Hulu. And Hulu was all game, but it was just a certain person over there that didn't get it.
Right.
And so they shot it and they dropped it.
Who was that?
I would not say.
We need to know. Yes,
So we're gonna avoid his ass, right?
Yeah, but they didn't like. I mean, everybody else loved it, but that one person didn't get Miss Pat. Thought I was mean, thought I was loud, didn't understand blackness, and they dropped it. And so BET Plus picked it up and gave us 10 episodes.
Fantastic.
Now I got a quick question. So I've been listening to you do radio interviews all week, and the story is amazing. 5 years ago, when the idea came up, and whoever, for whatever reason, they weren't ready, but now they are. Do you think that there's a little bit change in the culture and in society, whereas your in your face brashness is more acceptable now, and that's why the show is landing right now?
Well, time is everything. Maybe I don't know. You got to ask God that question, because it did take 5 years. But I was the same person I am 5 years ago.
Right.
Now,
it's like we changed.
5 years ago, with the first 2 writers, that wasn't gonna present you this Miss Pat, and that's one of the reasons why I was like, nah, that ain't me. I mean, we was damn near about to shoot this, and I was like, y'all, I can't do this. I said, all money ain't good money. And I'm not here to lay down, because I always told the people in the meeting, I said, y'all could never give me as much money as I could steal from you. I could steal way much more money from y'all than y'all can ever pay me. So, money was never an issue. I got a husband too. He has a job. So I didn't go in there. I wasn't desperate. So I just say, this ain't for me. I don't want to be presented like this on TV, because you only get one shot. So let's make this shot right. So that writer didn't work out. We got another writer. Then the network didn't like that writer. It didn't work out. So Lee decided to go to the streets and he said, I'm gonna go to the streets and find your writer. Found a 22-year-old kid who was in his last year of college. All he ever wrote was a play that was at the Public Theater in New York. And Lee Daniels said, I think you can write this lady's show. It was my birthday.
Wow.
Flew me from some country town. I don't know if I was in Utah or what. The next day on my birthday, and said, watch his play. It's the last day. I went and watched the play and I said, this kid has got an old soul. I think he can do it. But it didn't work out like I thought it was. We present him to, Lee Daniels present him to Fox. And Fox said, no, this kid ain't never wrote no TV show. Ain't nobody never heard of him. He ain't never did nothing.
That's what they do.
So I told him, I said, listen, baby. I said, Hollywood is bullshit. I said, they only want to keep doing the same shit. I said, you want this job? He said, yeah. I said, well, set your ass down and listen to me. Let's write this pilot behind their back. So what was crazy, he didn't have no money, had never written for TV. We didn't even have the program. So I give him my credit card. He buy the program. We don't know how to use it. We on YouTube trying to learn how to use it. Yeah, we on YouTube trying to learn how to use the program. We wrote that pilot in 7 or 8 days. All while we write, I'm interviewing white writers. I'm like, right, goddamn it, right. I got interviews, right. And we was up day and night. And I when he gave it to me, he had his name on. I said, you got to take your name off of it. And he was like, why? I said, because if they don't like it, it'll be on just me, and Lee can still work on getting you this job. But if your name on here and it's bad, then it ain't gonna look right. So he took his name off. And then after he took his name off, we decided, I gave it to Lee and he loved it. He was like, who wrote this? I said, me. He said, you telling a damn lie, everything's spelled right.
Miss Pat is in the building, born on my mama's birthday in Atlanta, Georgia. My mother's from Augusta, so there's already a natural, like, yo, I know you. I was raised by somebody just like you, for real. And it's interesting. Your book, it's called Rabbit, the autobiography of Miss Pat, chronicles your life. We have 2 comedians in here, and a lot of comedy, great comedy, comes out of pain. A lot of people can't do what you do without the tragedy that came before it. Do you agree with that?
Oh yeah, I see comedians all the time on stage be like, "Oh, my mother make my bed." I'm like, "Can you please go rob a bank so you can be interested?"
Yeah. Start over. That's funny.
What's magical about the show is that you're able to weave your comedy into your autobiography, into the comedy. You started off, the show with a little piece. You get on the airplane. You're having that exchange. It's very Black, but it's Black in a way that we're not monolithic. Like you said, you're not Claire Huxtable. You're not even Thea. There's been a lot of TV mothers. We've never seen a TV mother like Miss Pat. There's been Mother Jefferson, Mrs. Jefferson. There's been a lot of, Esther Roll. Miss Pat is like, I can't even describe this. I haven't seen anybody like this on TV, but she absolutely exists, and I know her.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I mean, let's be real. If I'm not your mother, I'm your aunt or your cousin, or I'm somebody else's that a Miss Pat, somebody who talk and act the way I do. And that's one of the things, like some of the pushback that people want to give their voice on. Oh my gosh, she's cussing. And I'm like, excuse me, please stop trying to act like you're not Black. Don't act like we don't act like this, okay? This is me. I'm 49 years old. I've been the same person my whole damn life. So stop acting like, I get into it all the time with Black women. Oh my God, you talk like that. And girl, I ain't even gonna say what I can say because I don't know if I can cuss on your show.
You can. It's Sirius XM. Please do.
I said, if you don't go, I tell them, if you don't go stick that frozen cucumber in your ass and get off this internet fucking with me tonight.
I'm writing that down. So I got two things that I frozen cucumber and bleach booty holes.
Yes.
The bleach booty holes. Who is doing that and why are they bleaching the booty holes? Why does the booty hole need to be bleached? I'm still confused by that.
That's very popular. And I did it. I'm sorry. I had to grab my charge. I didn't realize. That is very popular right now. Bleach booty holes for women. And that's why I wrote a bit about it. And that's why it's in my stand-up. I mean, it was in the show. my girlfriend was like, "Oh my God, you got to go get your booty hole bleach." And I was like, "What is that? You got to be sexy." I'm like, "Well, who looking at that?" And so I wrote a bit about it, and the co-creator just added it into all of those are honestly, that's my first hour bit that he just stripped apart and turned into episodes.
A whole episode, yeah. That's good writing.
It really is. I mean,
So
have
Karen,
you
did you
seen,
hear
have
what
you
she
guys
said? You got
what?
to get the booty hole bleached. That's what she
yeah, but
said.
did you go do that, Pat? And what is it? I'm trying to
No,
imagine,
ma'am.
especially during a pandemic.
And
like,
she
why
also
is it,
said,
are they using bleach? Like,
Professor Hunter, she also said you got to freeze your cucumbers. Room temperature cucumbers just
not good.
You gotta-
I wrote
Yeah.
it down, Lamont. I got it right here. Thank you for that, for the help there. This is hilarious. All right, so has it been picked up already? So you got your first episodes in the can. The first season is in. You're getting rave reviews. So I don't care. All the people that are offended are still watching because
They watching.
the only thing I'm like, oh, they said the actual hard R N word, like the E-R-A, not the G-A, not the GGA. And I was like, oh, is this problematic? So that's the only question that I have. And I think, for a lot of us in this time that we're in, that Lamont was talking about, there is an inflection point. There's space for all of this. But is this, I was like, the hard ER. Ooh, they said that on TV.
But that's how
Well,
people talk, though.
I said
That's how people talk.
I said that a nigga. That's how I said it. That's how I say it every
I
day.
didn't hear you.
Shut up.
So Pat, I told them earlier to be honest and tell the truth about the N-word, is that the N-word was here before I was born, before you were born. It's being used today, and it's going to be used when we dead and gone. So the reality, if it's here, and deal with it. Maybe I don't use it as much, but that's not me. But I hear it every day. Say it again.
Yeah.
When you say Ms. Pat, what's the word?
I mean, nigger.
Karen, you said with an ER, nigger.
The hard aura.
Yeah.
The hard
Yeah.
aura.
That's when you
Yeah,
mean it.
I
When
didn't
you
know
mean it.
I didn't know the R was hard, but okay.
Yeah.
That's just how I talk.
That's a
I mean,
Georgia
we
accent. That's a Georgia accent that she just used there. Nigger.
I'm from Georgia. I'm from Atlanta.
Are you from College Park? See, they talk funny.
I have a home in Riverdale, but I grew up in the West End. That's where I sold all my crack at.
Okay.
Oh,
Wait, probably, okay, let's go. It's
Yes.
all right.
That's
She talks
rabbit.
about it on the show. So
That's rabbit.
everything that we're hearing, you talk about on the show, from having a child at 14, having a child at 15, to the selling the crack and being a felon, all that's true.
I had my first child. I had my first two kids when I was 14, 15 years old by a married man. And then I had I started selling crack about 16, went to prison. All of it's true. I mean, I'm a mom on TV as a convicted felon. Because come on, let's be honest. Nobody, they paint mothers on TV as perfect. Ain't no damn mama perfect. I don't chop vegetables on this TV. I'm from the streets. But the good part about it, I have a strong black man at the house, which I do for real. That's how I got out of the streets. The guy who betrayed my husband, that is actually the husband I'm married to at the house.
That's your husband?
No, not him. That's how my
That's the
real
character.
husband.
Okay.
I was like, wow.
what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
me
No,
too.
no, no,
I didn't hear what she said. Same personality, she said.
Yeah.
Same
I thought
thing.
she meant the
George-
same person.
I'm
Yeah.
right, George.
No. Well, I'm sorry. No, that's not my husband.
No,
That's
Miss Pat,
somebody else.
you said it. You said it right the first time. They were not listening. You said it right. The guy that's betraying my husband, that's my real husband. She said, what he's doing is just like my real
Ain't you
husband.
supposed to be gone?
Say it again. Come on, say it
Oh,
again.
look at the time. All
Ain't
right.
you supposed to be gone, nigger?